Hi, I'm Michael Josh, and this is TechRap. Hurricane Sandy forces Google to cancel its launch in New York City, but that doesn't stop them from unveiling two new Nexus devices. Nexus is Google's flagship line of Android devices, released this week via a simple online announcement were the Nexus 4 smartphone and the Nexus 10 tablet. Joining the previously released Nexus 7, the whole set represents Google's newly completed portfolio, made up of a 4-inch smartphone, a 7-inch tablet, and a 10-inch tablet. The LG-made Nexus 4 looks like a solid smartphone competitor. While it does not support LTE connectivity, it does have one of the fastest processors around, a 1.5 GHz quad-core Snapdragon. It's pretty competitive on the display front with a 4.7-inch screen, about the size of a Samsung Galaxy S3, but with a resolution that rivals the iPhone 5. The Samsung-made Nexus 10 stands out because of its display. Its 10-inch screen has a pixel density of 330 pixels per inch, blowing all of its competition out of the water. We've heard of great new products from Apple and Google, but don't count Microsoft out just yet. The software giant is putting up a great fight in the mobile arena with its launch of Windows Phone 8, and by the looks of it, it's pretty impressive. At the core of the Windows Phone 8 interface are live tiles, almost like widgets that give users live data, recent FB status messages, or tweets, the latest headline from CNN, or deal from Groupon. The look reinforces Microsoft's goal to reinvent the smartphone that, for the most part, has been dominated by rows and rows of app icons. Speaking of apps, in the past, one of the most frustrating things about Windows Phone was the lack of usable applications. Microsoft says that as of October 2012, there are about 120,000 apps on the Windows Phone store, including 46 of the top 50 apps available on iOS and Android. Gmail unseats Hotmail as the world's most popular email service. According to an October report by ComScore, Gmail now has 288 million unique users, ahead of longtime world leader Hotmail, which has about 286 million. Yahoo Mail is in third place with 281 million, but it's still the top dog in the United States. Earlier this year, Gmail claimed worldwide dominance, but it's the first time an independent body has backed up its claim. In every episode of TechRap, we share with you a social media tip so that you can maximize whatever platform you're on and that you can be the best social media user you can be. This tip of the week comes from Rappler's social media producer, Beth. Beth?
Hi, I'm Bea Cupin from the Rappler social media team. I'll guide you through Facebook's subscribe feature. If you're in the business of social media and journalism like I am, your privacy is a huge concern. There are things that you want the whole world to know, but there are certain things that you want to keep between yourself and the people you're close to. People used to work around this by creating two different pages, a personal account and a Facebook fan page. But here's some good news. You don't need to live a double life on Facebook anymore. With the subscribe feature, other people can follow your public post on Facebook even if they aren't your Facebook friend. Here's how to turn it on. On the top right corner of your screen, click on the downward arrow next to the home button, select Account Settings, and click on Subscribe on the left panel. Check the box that allows subscribers. And voila! You can start getting subscribers now. They'll be able to see all your public posts on Facebook. So the next time you put something on Facebook, double check to see who can view that post. And if you are not 18 yet, you can't turn the subscribe feature on. That's because you aren't allowed public posts yet. That's it for this week's social media tip.
Our app of the week comes from a little-known Finnish startup, Tuokio, whose goal is to create games that a whole bunch of people can play together. One such game is one of my favorites, King of Opera. The game has been out for about a year now, but hasn't quite got the attention it deserves. Gameplay is simple. 4 tenors stand around a circular stage and vie for the spotlight. Once someone claims it, the only way to steal the spotlight is by pushing the one under it off the stage. While it's not something I recommend you do in real life, it's a pretty therapeutic activity in the digital world, and it's sure to get you screaming and laughing through the course of the game. Stay under the spotlight the longest over the course of 3 rounds, and you win the crown and the game. Expect a twist in round 3 when you go into bull mode, where the player with the lowest score doubles in size, making it easier for him to push people off and harder to be pushed off. Once you move up the ranks, the bullhorns and the powers that come with it are passed on to the player with the lowest score. If you love the spotlight, then this game is definitely worth checking out. It's only available for iOS and it's available on the App Store for 99 cents. If you have an iPad, I recommend playing it on it because of its larger screen, and invite 3 other friends to play along with you. Do you have an app that you'd like to recommend? Send me a tweet and use the hashtag TechRap. Slightly over a year after the death of Steve Jobs, there's a shakeup at Apple. This week, possibly timed while Wall Street was temporarily closed due to Hurricane Sandy, Apple announces a major management reorg. 5 months after his retirement from the company, former SVP for hardware Bob Mansfield is returning full-time as VP of Technologies. This move surprises many tech insiders, as Apple is known to plan and prepare well for the retirement of its executives. Mansfield will stay for at least 2 more years. Leaving Apple is Scott Forstall, the man behind iOS, the operating system that runs both the iPhone and the iPad. Stepping in to handle tasks left behind by Forstall will be Johnny Ive, Apple's SVP for Industrial Design, and the man responsible for Apple's groundbreaking unibody designs seen on MacBook Pros and iPhones. While the reshuffling comes as a shock to some saw it coming. According to similar reports on the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, sources within Apple say Forstall was abrasive and hard to work with. So, how do these squabbles inside Apple affect us users and the future of iOS? Insiders at Apple say Forstall and Ive did not see eye to eye in terms of the user interface design of iOS. The late Steve Jobs is said to have espoused a skeuomorphic design philosophy, and in his absence, Forstall is said to have been its most vocal advocate, the man with unwavering support of his mentor's aesthetic. First, let's explain skeuomorphic design. Skeuomorphism is a term used to illustrate design that mimics real-life objects. Take a quick look at some of the apps that come built in with iOS to see what I mean. The Notes app, for example, resembles a yellow pad. iBooks is made to look like a wooden bookshelf. Game Center has the green felt look of poker tables. Friend Finder has beige leather. Reminders has aged black leather. The Podcasts app mimics old tape recorders. And the pull-down notification center has a fabric feel just like curtains do. An article by Austin Carr of Fast Company, published before Forstall's ouster, says some design experts call these designs tacky, and that it has degraded the user experience. Apple, after all, has been known to espouse simplicity. Does skeuomorphic design really make the iOS experience any less better? iOS has been around for 5 years now and has undergone 6 major revisions, but it still more or less looks the same. Is it falling behind rivals Android and Windows Phone 8? We asked TechRap viewers to weigh in on the debate. On Twitter, user at AFParungao says, "One of the things I love about iOS is its fuss-free interface." At Kevin Yapoko adds, "I don't think it needs a facelift. The familiarity is comforting. I don't mind skeuomorphic design if it's not blatant." At Mon Corpus disagrees, saying skeuomorphic is not digital, a design direction that confuses Apple's signature simplicity, edginess, and elegance. Red Tamayo on Facebook adds, "I've always hated the skeuomorphic apps on iOS and OS X. I find them distracting. For me, Apple's skeuomorphic design choices are not all bad. I appreciate how page flips are rendered on iBooks." While some design references are outdated, appreciation, or the lack of it, is a subjective matter. Having used both iOS and Android, it's pretty clear that iOS's ease of use will benefit most users, but in some instances will leave more advanced users wanting. One of Android's strengths are its widgets. Windows Phone 8's live tiles are a great idea too. Regardless of where you stand on the matter, Ive taking on Forstall's role means users can expect some changes to iOS in 2013. Ive's work is indelibly part of design history. Many are hoping iOS stays simple, but gets better than it already is. Perhaps a sleek new look and a whole lot of innovations thrown into the mix. What do you think? Let us know online. And that was TechRap. For news updates, follow Rappler on Twitter and Facebook. And if you have any tech questions or requests about what you'd like featured on the show, send me a message on Twitter using the hashtag TechRap. See you next week. Thanks for dropping by.